Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Good evening, Greenhorns, and welcome to the Road to Wrestling School, the HOV to the HOP. HOP standing for the Neil Superior Pro Wrestling House of Pain Training Center. Grizz does that better. I'm hashtag Hamish Stewart, and beside me is no one, because Grizz normally does this. Obviously, he is not here, so it's going to be me doing the podcast for the evening. I'm coming in on Monday night. This is Monday, November the 28th. I'm coming in because Thursday through Sunday, I will be down in Tampa, Sarasota, Florida. I'm not saying that I'm not trying out for the NXT Performance Center, but I'll be at a wedding. So if you see me on NXT, it'll be in the audience, but that's where I will be. I am in the car on the way to wrestling school, and I'm going to let you in on my thought process and not the conversation. As always, I'll give you guys an update of my fitness, because I know everybody loves to hear it. The machine that I'm on says I'm down to 4.5% body fat. Can't believe that at all, but I guess that's what it says. It has a margin of error, I think, between 3 and 4%. So I think we could say with a comfortable bit of reliability, I'm about 5-6%, 7% body fat. You can see it throughout my muscles when I work out. I can see striation and vascularity, certainly in different areas that are normally covered up, but when I work out and they're uncovered, you can see it. Also, I get it's a lot of muscle groups starting to show, which is pretty nice. The bad part is, because I lost weight so quickly, I have a lot of loose skin around the core area. So I'm not going to pick up those defined abs this Christmas season, sadly. I do have, you can see the region, you can see where they start and where they end, and you can see cut-ins and kind of things like that, but it's definitely not to the point of where you would go, wow, that dude has got some chiseled abs. They're there. They're just not chiseled. Womp, womp. Better luck next time, Mario. Your abs are in another castle. So, over the next year or two, I am going to up the calories and change the macros with the help of a fantastic nutritionist by the name of Kristen Bishel Brown. She will be helping me out. You can follow along with my progress. I am going to be building a YouTube channel, hopefully, that will catalog and chart my progress, kind of the things I do. This is going to be a separate venture other than the wrestling bit, and you can follow along if you want. Haven't figured out a title for it yet, but it'll be a fun little adventure through fitness land and hopefully tips, tricks, that kind of stuff, and we'll make it fun and enjoyable for people of all colors and all slices of the fitness rainbow. So there you go. That's that. Coming off the 1,800 calories, praise Jesus, as soon as I get the fitness plan, or as soon as I get the nutrition plan. It's been very tough. I will tell you, if you are following along or trying to do something like this at home, when you dip your calories below a certain level, I took a very drastic measure, and you just lose power. You lose muscle, you lose power to gain definition. That's okay. I knew going into it. I lost a good 25%, 30% pushing power. My top weights that I can push were my warm-up weights, or not warm-up weights, but kind of like my 5 to 8 rep range when I was at full capacity, 3,200 to 3,500 calories, with a higher split of carbs in there. I don't have the energy to push it, and working out 3 times a day is not an easy way to keep those muscles happy and push heavy weights. But we're gonna add those calories back in, rebalance those macros, get us back up. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the art of pro wrestling and all the fun that it is. On my mind tonight, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and the podcast hosts will ask their guests questions that I try to ponder and think about. One of the questions that JR asks his people who are on his podcast are, if you had a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, your top 4 wrestlers, who would they be? So, think of the top 4 Mount Rushmore for me. Feel free to argue or post your top 4 if you care or are inclined to. I think the heel of heels, the performer of performers, Ric Flair, has got to be up there. You can't take away what Ric Flair did in the business. Also, Dusty Rhodes, his body type, and with his body type, he made it on his charisma. He wasn't one of those hulking guys that were cut up and chiseled and enormous weightlifter dudes. He looked like a normal guy. And through his charisma, through his ability to connect with the audience, he was captivating. He was downright captivating. You can't keep your eyes off of Dusty Rhodes. And constantly reinventing himself, and not in terms of reinventing who the American dream is, but keeping it fresh so that it didn't get old. Back to Ric Flair. Something with the career of Flair, making it for that long, being, champion for however long he is, transitioning throughout. Guys whip crack smart in the ring, put together a great match. You almost never see a match where you're like, oh my God, this is total crapper. Really good, and really good talker. Really great talker. When rounding out my Mount Rushmore, the other 2 get a little more difficult. I almost want to put Mick Foley up there. I almost do. You almost got to put The Rock up there. Stone Cold almost has a place up there. You can make a case for Eddie Guerrero. You can make a case for Chris Benoit. I mean, withstanding his the issues that he had outside the ring. It's hard to narrow down, but I think in terms of, I think Dusty Rhodes takes Mick's spot, because Mick had that. He also had a very different body type, and got over on the charisma and the ability to connect. So that spot's taken by that. I think you got to put The Rock in there. I mean, I know it's probably something that people are probably like, oh, The Rock, boo, you're the worst. Yeah, I am the worst, and that's fine. But The Rock, I think, brought wrestling back, resurrected it out of the Attitude, shepherded it through the Attitude Era, and then turned it into the product that it is today. And then transitioned himself out, and then passed the torch over. And he was a great wrestler and a great talker, a great stick man. You can't take that away from him. And then, oh man, the last one. Let's see here. Maybe I'll come back to that one. All right, so let's go to another question. Fantasy booking. If I could book any set of matches, any card, what would I like to see? Back in the day through now. I would like to see the Rock and Roll Express versus the Rockers. I think those 2 teams would mesh well. They're 2 face teams, but I think it would be a very cool match to watch. Rock and Roll Express, very high action like the Rockers. I think the Rockers took a lot of Rock and Roll Express's stuff not their stuff, but partly their gimmick, when they jumped in and did their thing. So I'd like to see that tag match. I think that'd be a fun little piece of business to watch. So I'm not a real big man match. I'm not really like to dig up Andre and bring him back in there. And I'm not a real big Battle Royal guy, so let's keep those off the card. So like Shinsuke Nakamura, what if you put him with Dusty Rhodes? You could book Shinsuke and Dusty Rhodes together. Two of the most flamboyant, can't take your eyes off of them performers. Yeah, let's put Shinsuke and Dusty Rhodes together. I'd like to see that. Edge and Christian v. Killer Bees. No, Edge and Christian v. the Hart Foundation. Jim the Anvil Neidhart and the excellence of execution, Bret Hart. Edge was trained in the dungeon with Stu Hart, so he would be familiar with Bret Hart's moveset and working with Bret Hart. And I believe, if I know, he's worked from time to time with Bret Hart. So, notwithstanding the neck injuries, that sort of thing. So, if it was booked right, I'd like to see Goldberg v. Stone Cold. I don't think you could book it right. I just don't think you can. I get worried about that one. I think they would crap the bed with it. Almost like they did Lesnar. Ugh. God, I can't even think about that. What the heck? Dude's 50 years old and they squash Lesnar with him? Come on. What does that do to Lesnar? I mean, I get it. Like, Lesnar's this animal and he's got to be beaten. Never mind. But he ended the streak of The Undertaker. And then you come in. Would you have ended the streak of The Undertaker with Goldberg? I don't think you would. I don't know. I don't think I would have. But that's why I don't make the big bucks booking WWE matches. That's why I'm in training. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't round out our fantasy booking here. So everybody's going to hate me, but hate away. I'm a mark for Triple H. I think he's smart in the ring. He has a fantastic ring psychology. He knows how to turn it on and when to bring it up and when to slow it down. Triple H is a great wrestler. He doesn't get the attention that he deserves for it. But so I would put Triple H. Could probably throw him with some old school guy because they would mesh really well. Triple H's got that old school mentality. And you'd have to dig deep, like classy Freddie Blassie or Gorgeous George or something. It'll come up. It'll come up. Anyway, maybe... I don't want to put Triple H up on the Mount Rushmore. He's close. And that fourth spot, that's a tough one. Kind of want to give it to one of the originators. One of your top guys in the 50s and 60s, but... Or Luthez. Well, Luthez could be on there. Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson v. Triple H. There you go. That's round out to be a pretty decent card. Oh, somebody got pulled over. Womp womp. So some Mount Rushmore, some fantasy bookings, some thoughts about. Just why would you squish Lesnar with... I mean, maybe he was shocked. I don't know. I haven't checked in. There's still vomit in my mouth from that match. A lot of talk around the wrestling water cooler about matches going too fast and not registering, not selling enough. This is something that I take very to heart because it's something that, coming from the fight choreography world, is something you need to do. You need to be able to sell quickly and sell enough to the audience to where they know where you're at, where you're coming from, and why it hurts and where it hurts. There are times when I think you sell less and you got to hurry up and speed up, and it takes a different toll in terms of what you're doing to sell why it doesn't hurt so much. When the face is firing up, when he's got his come to Jesus moment with you, and he's a house on fire, and he's coming through the heel. the heel's got to bounce back up and feed that face real hard, so it makes the face, gives the face the, the look that he's just rawr, he's the house on fire. And that's a different sell than the face just gave me a drop kick to the jaw and laid me out there. And the psychology is different in both of them at different times of the match. So I could see where the talk around the water cooler is slow it down, sell more, do the things you do best at level 10, not 20 things real fast at level 5, and preserve your body. Name of the game, I'm getting closer to 40 as every day passes along. I'm still keeping up with myself, but who knows how long this is going to last. Hopefully it lasts for a long time and I become famous and I'm picked up by NXT with Grizz through some bizarro event where they see us on the internet. And they listen to this podcast, which is going to happen, I'm sure. It's probably happening right now. Somebody at WWE is like, listen to this. This is Vince. Vince is doing it. He's going, listen to this guy talk. We need him. Pat, call him up. And then they'll call us, and Vince will be on the phone. Of course, it'll be Vince. It won't be anybody else. Is this hashtag Hamish Stewart? And I'll go, you can hang up now. I'm not falling for this. Click and hang up, and that'll be my only chance. Vince will be like, well, that was enough of that. And that'll be the end of my run with the WWE. But at least I'll have a good 2 years with Ring of Honor, so it'll be fine. Maybe I'll get some Japan time. Obviously rambling, but going up by myself kind of denotes some rambling. It kind of offers a little bit of rambling time. Wonder what else I can ramble about. Let's ramble about... I would ramble about fitness stuff, but Joe would murder me and chop that off the end of the podcast. Oh, sorry, Grizz. God, I kayfabe that name. I'm the worst at that. He's the worst at kayfabe my name, so whatever. Yeah, Grizz will be wrestling in a open training match December 3rd. Will be the wedding day for me. I will be down in... I'm not getting married, but I'm down in Florida for the wedding of two lovely friends. My wife is in the wedding. She will look smashing, as always. But Grizz will be wrestling, so this podcast will not come out in time for that show, but if you somehow get an advance copy of this podcast, or you're clairvoyant, or you're Vince McMahon listening to this podcast right now, then you can come up and go to the open training match and watch Grizz take on whoever they're going to book him against. Grizz is a fantastic performer. You can, I'll tell you right now, and the card is still being put together. You will not be disappointed. All the House of Pain people all the trainees and all the certified wrestlers there are top-notch indie performers. These are not people who you would see and go, well, it's indie wrestling. No, you see them and you go, wow, that's indie wrestling. And that's how it should be. And Grizz and I hope in the near future, hoping in the January, February, March time frame, that we might hit some shows, get out there and sell some gimmicks, sell some pictures, sell some handshakes, sell some t-shirts, and show the indie wrestling community that the Grimy Scots are here to disrupt the flow of traffic for all the tag teams. Resurrect tag team wrestling in the indies in the area around here. Did you hear that, Vince? Yes, I did. And I love it. You're signed immediately. Well, Vince, that's really nice of you. Can't imagine. What am I going to tell my wife? So this is probably a bad luck omen, but I'm going to say it anyway. This Wednesday, I have a job interview. That is for a deputy administrator, like director position in where I work. It has been no fail that the training session or the rehearsal or anything the week before or the week of an interview for me, something happens to my face. The last time I had an interview, somebody missed with a punch, landed it square in my nose, broke my nose, split the bridge of my nose open, and split my eyebrow open. I needed 5 stitches in my eyebrow, or is it 5 stitches on my nose and 3 stitches on my eyebrow, 8 stitches in total to close the gaping wounds on my face. To which, God love her, my wife, I was driving home. I said, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can go to bed when I get home. I think it'll be all right. I got home and she was like, nope, to the hospital. And we spent several hours in the hospital while somebody stitched my face up, and I learned a very valuable lesson. So, I'm hoping that with this this very public and very open prayer to whatever God is out there that's listening, please don't let my face get injured tonight. Or any injury. That'd be great. I just came off of a back injury. I installed that patio on my back porch. Moved, let's see here, 10 tons, 6, 8, 16, 20, about 20 tons, 20 tons of dirt, sand, and bricks over a week and a half period by myself. My wife helped out at the end in the bricklaying process, which was very nice. But most of the time, I was putting the bricks in myself, doing the digging. The digging was all me and doing all the other stuff. Laying the bricks, my wife jumped in and helped. She helped out with some of the digging too, which was, she knew I was in over my head, which is my way. You get I'm an A-type personality. You get 2 settings with me: fire hose on or totally off. Those are your 2 settings. You get full bore, raw emotion, total commitment, or nothing. And I don't get in between there. So once I turned the fire hose on and we get that patio done, I was like, let's do it. And in a week and a half, we put it in. During that week and a half, I pulled something in my right trap muscle that hurt so bad. It hurt like if somebody grabbed you with a pair of pliers. Like pinched you really hard. Just grabbed it. And it was right, if you put your right hand on your, like in between your shoulder and your neck, and then almost like kind of gave yourself a massage back there, right there. That's where it was. Right there. Anytime I put my arm out to reach something, or bent over and tried to reach something, it could have been pen, could have been a piece of paper. Oh my God. It hurt like the dickens. So, luckily, I took a week and a half off of any real strenuous physical activity. I stayed walking, so I did brisk pace walking up an incline, very steep incline, for 30 minutes, 35 minutes each day. Just to keep the heart rate moving, keep slow burn sort of cardio going, kind of retain as much muscle as I can, and at least just keep things moving. That helped, kind of tiger balmed it, did all sorts of balms and treatments, hot showers, that kind of thing. And today I was able to get back in the gym and start pressing some weights. Hooray! Again, if I can get this nutrition plan set up and ready to rock, I'll start pushing heavier weights, double hooray. And my goal, this is a lofty goal, might be a stretch goal for me, is that by the end of 2017, I have joined the 1,000-pound club, meaning that I have pushed a combined weight between bench press, squat, and deadlift of 1,000 pounds in one workout. A year ago, when I kind of was at the top of this and really pushing as hard as I could, maybe a year and a half ago, might have been, no, it was about 6 months ago. Yeah, it was 6 months ago. This is before I started the big cut. About May time. Yeah, May, my birthday. So June, July, August. So 7 months ago, about 7 months ago, I had hit the 850-pound club where I was able to deadlift 360 and not hitching and not none of that junk, straight up deadlift, not like, I'm going to pull it up above my knees. Nope. Down, up, down. Deadlift, 360. I was squatting 290, where you take it off. I was working on a Smith machine, so boo to that. I'm working a place where I got a squat rack. I wish I did. So take it off the Smith machine, boom, down to full depth, which is 90 degrees, hips to knees. I try to go down a little further, but I know I hit it at least once because my guy there was like, you got it. And he's not, he was an actual trainer, so he wasn't trying to pad my stats there. Boom, 290, and then I pushed 200 pounds in the bench press. Not a very impressive bench press, I know. But if I can move that to 250 over the next year, that eats up another 50 pounds, which is great. If I can move the squat up to, let's say, 350, that's another 60 pounds on the squat, and then move up the deadlift 50 pounds or 60 pounds, I'm there. Totally doable. I'm going to try to do it without injuring myself. That's the name of the game. I could have lifted a whole lot more. The deadlift especially could have lifted a whole lot more, but I'd have hurt myself, and I'd have done it way out of form. So, keeping in form, doing it right. I'm pulling up to the House of Pain right now, logging off for the night. Greenhorns, have a good one. I don't hear from you, or you don't hear from me. Hopefully your holidays will be merry and bright, and your Thanksgiving was a good one. Mine, by the way, it was a handful of days I've strayed from my eating, my nutrition. Thanksgiving was one meal that I said, I'm going to stray. I ate 4 pieces of pie, like 2 cups of whipped cream, 3 to 4 Rice Krispie treats, and then there was something else in there. I was literally sick. I've never been sick from eating. I was sick from eating. Sick. I regret nothing. I literally gained 3 pounds from eating that food. It processed out. I'm kind of working back to it, but I know that's how you wanted to end this podcast. That's how I'm ending it. I'll see you down the road and in the rain. Such a good. That ending sounds good. I like that.